See? You're talking to a white girl right now.
So there's something I'd hate to admit. But when I was 15 years old, I was ashamed to be Asian. I grew out my hair and I wanted to be a skater boy, see you later boy. Because I was always into girls, not just Asian girls. But I remember looking at a girl and being like, is she into Asian guys? But as I got older and looked back, I'm like, oh my God, I too had a lot of internalized racism.
Growing up, I wished so bad that I was white.
Where in the back of my mind, me being Asian was a barrier of entry.
What's one race you laddies wouldn't date?
Asian.
Huh?
Oh. Wait, but aren't you like half Asian though?
You have to understand that, y'all, this was before the times of Shang-Chi, Steven Yeun, Walking Dead, K-pop. So I always felt like I had this insecurity where wherever I went, and if I wanted to ask a girl out, the first question was like, hey, are you into Asian guys? So I had to get their approval before I could even ask them out. Because interracial marriages, relationships was very rare. And the only time you did see these interracial marriages or relationships was primarily with a white guy and a minority, i.e. an Asian girl.
Asian guys remind me of my brother.
If you haven't seen my other video, I talk about the negative stereotypes of media and how yellowface for the past 20 to 30 years, Asians not get a very good rep. But now, in the likelihood of a woke culture, there is inclusivity. There is Asian people like me on the camera, on the internet, and we are much more accepted.
There's some really cute ones.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Definitely feel you.
Okay.
But I thought it was finally time to just, like the title says, put an end to this discussion, where there are a lot of we're walking down rice cell territory, where Asian guys are commenting and hating on Asian girls because they only date white guys. And I can see from an Asian brother how that can be very frustrating because one, you don't see any other race across the board, for example, white people, be like,
Remind you of your brother.
I'm not gonna date you because you look like my brother or uncle or dad. Only with Asians, primarily from my anecdotal and online experience, you get that vibe. But on the other hand, Asian girls are not your property. They're not your people. They're just like everybody else, free to choose to date and love whoever it is that they want to date. And the truth be told is, it is usually a projection of their own insecurities, where deep down, they have their own bad experiences or just blah when it comes to being Asian, and they have not embraced that. There's nothing wrong with having a preference. You know, I have a preference towards dating primarily Asian people, and I have in the past dated non-Asian people. What I'm trying to say is, what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna complain and make an entire YouTube channel hating on other Asian girls who only date white guys? That's kind of walking down rice cell territory. You are not the face of Asian people. You cannot change the minds and perspectives. It's like trying to make someone non-vegan a vegan, or vice versa. What you can do about it is not associate yourself with these types of people. For me, if someone is not gonna date me just solely based on my race or height or whatever, that is some sort of bias, some sort of racism, heightism, ageism. I'm not gonna associate myself with you. It is really that simple. You also want to reverse engineer that and be like, what is it about white people that I'm trying to get approval from?
Responding to consumerism. So they're gonna sell you what they believe you'll buy. Movies don't get the credit now for being progressive because they're responding to what we are doing.
Yeah.
So it's your responsibility to push against whatever you believe is wrong and do what you feel is right.
Asian incels, rice cells, are trying to be like, hey, I'm gonna date my Princess Peach, so I'm gonna get the approval and worth that I know that I'm already worth it. But the fact that you are chasing something for the approval means that deep down at your core, you don't think you are worthy of anything, of your own self-approval.
Think white girl's pretty? Talk to her. She'll probably be like, hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Especially for all my Asian Canadians, Americans, Australians, British, it's a identity crisis where growing up, you don't have that side of you that is trying to be Asian. You are too white to be Asian. You go to Asia, you are too white to be Asian. You're too Asian to be white. You know what I mean? So there is this always sense of not really fitting in, figuring out your identity and who you are as a person. And when you're going through the dating stages of life, hopefully, you kind of figure out, you kind of give yourself to people. You're like, hey, will you accept me? Will you take me? Will you date me? Will you love me? And then it's only through that process you realize that you were always enough and you didn't need to pander and beg for anybody, any race, to have them choose you because you choose you.
Netflix and chill in the library. Like, bring a little, you know what I mean?
Like actually Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
Like Netflix and chill.
Like, it might. Well, I don't know. You'd have to talk to her.
This is such a multifaceted, layered discussion, politically and socioeconomically, and we can go entire days about talking about this topic. But what I don't want to happen is seeing other people in the comments being like, hey, you only date white guys. But I'm like, who cares, bro? You date who you want to date and you don't associate people that bring down your energy. It is simply like that. Is there things like yellow fever, objectification of women or guys? Yes, right? Bring awareness to it. But understand that it's a better time to not only love yourself and be proud of it, but be proud to be Asian, right? Be proud of, wow. When I turn on the TV now, depending on where, or TikTok, there's people looking like me all over the place. Where 10, 20 years ago, there was none of that. Which is why the constant search for validation and people, the more you look out, you realize all the answers are within. You don't need anyone to pick you, especially white people, right? They are already privileged enough. We need to take our power back. And you're definitely not gonna do it hating on other Asian girls because they only date white guys. Oh, by the way, like throughout all the races, it's only the ones with Asians that have a specific genre, if you know what I mean. Asian male, white female, right? Asian male, black female. But if you go on the inverse of that, white guys dating other races, there isn't really like an acronym. But why is it for Asian people? Anyways, yeah, hopefully that's my 2 cents on this. And you guys let me know what y'all think. Because Asian Americans, Asian Canadians have this problem. But people from Asia, where Asians are the majority and we're not a minority, there isn't this problem, right? Or this sense of identity crisis. But there is this continuing theme. But in the day, bro, or gal, we don't need nobody's approval. The only approval you ever needed is you.